What's going on, people? Welcome back another Johnson Claire TV back again. I've got me special guest with me, Shelley. Hi, Shelley. You okay?
Hi, Dan. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
It's not too bad at all. Thank you for coming on for the first time. And it's now official that Newcastle have made a fourth signing of the season, signing Southamptons Tino Livramento between 32 and 40 million pound, which is a fee up to 40 million quid on a 5-year contract. Here we go. And he's going to learn from Kieran Trippier. And he says the nicest fan. We're going to comment to him in a bit. But what do you think of that signing, Shelley? Livramento.
I actually think it's a brilliant signing. I love what the club are doing right now, signing real young lads. They said it was a 5-year plan. They're sticking to the 5-year plan, and it's great. And for Livramento to be able to learn from Trippier, who for me is stand out by far and away our best signing for years, for him to be able to learn from Trippier I think he will be forced to be reckoned with in another year or so.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, we've been after him for about a month now, and we made a local offer, 15-20 million quid, and that got rejected. We've been patient. We already wanted this guy, and here we are. And he spoke some nice words, so we're going to come on to what he's been saying in a bit. And yeah, I mean, he's going to eventually take over for Kieran Trippier, and I'm looking forward for Tino to come in.
Yeah. I don't, if I'm honest, I don't think we'll see a great deal of him in the Premiership yet. No. I think they'll do a bit like they've done with Gordon, and they'll break him in slowly and, get him comfortable with the older guys and get that real sort of embedded sort of status for the lad first. I think we'll probably see him more in cup games and stuff like that coming later on, which is great. And that's what we should be doing. His words, what he said today in the press, looks really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, we're going to go on what he's seen saying to the press. As you can see on nufc.co.uk, Newcastle signed Tino Livramento, like I said, on a 5-year contract. This has just been saying, what Tino's been saying to the press. I'm really excited to have signed for Newcastle, and I'm looking forward to playing in front of the fans. I was here for the games of the weekend, even though they were in the friendlies. There were so many fans, and they were still so loud. So I cannot wait to see what it feels like playing in front of them in the Premier League or Champions League. He also added, the way the manager plays football is really attractive, and I feel like it suits me as a player. And with how well the team did last season, the trajectory that we're on now, I'm just looking forward to being part of that. That's so kind words from Tino. You know what I mean? He speaks well. He says the right things. And I tell you what, though, Shelley, Newcastle fans are going to love those statements from the young lad.
Yeah. I've got a bit of a funny story, actually. So on Saturday, we were sat in the Platinum Club.
Yeah.
I was about 4 seats away from Tino Livramento, and I didn't even realise he was there. So when I saw it in the press, I was like, he was sat right next to us. And we didn't even notice he was there. But yeah, it looks a really, really, really good signing. One for the future.
100%. And he also added as well that and to be able to learn from Kieran Trippier is another big thing for me. Hopefully it teaches me how to become a better player and a better fullback. Eddie Howe's come on and said Tino is a very talented young player with an exciting future ahead of him, so we are delighted to sign him. At 20 years of age, he's already have lots of attributes that I admire, but he also has potential and drive to really grow with this team. I'm looking forward to working with him and seeing him develop in a Newcastle United shirt. Now, Eddie Howe says the nice things like Tino again. He knows what he wants, and he knows what he's talking about as well.
Yeah, he does. When you look at sort of Tino's history, even though he's very young, he's been in the game his whole life. He's come up through the Chelsea ranks, and he left Chelsea purely for first team football. And he got that until he was injured. So I'd be a little bit nervous about what was he set back in January. But I don't think Eddie Howe won't have done his homework on that already. But when you look, he can play as a wing back. If we look at what Jacob Murphy did at the weekend, I thought he was phenomenal. And to have another one who can play like that and get forward and score goals like Murphy is just phenomenal.
I totally agree. And you know what it is, right? I mean, like I said, he's young, he's 20, he's got years ahead of him. And he mentioned that as well. And this guy could go all the way. I think he'd be an England international in future years, you know, because we're definitely looking for a right back. I mean, look, yes, he had ACL injuries twice, and he came back for them as well. I mean, the younger you are, the quicker the heals up. But if you're 30 plus, it's going to be very difficult. This guy just didn't let it affect him, got on with it, and he's playing football again.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks a big, strong lad. Definitely a real good signing. Really good signing.
Yeah. And the question is, though, is he ready to come into the first team? For me personally, I don't think he is. Like you said, Eddie Howe's going to, nurture him in like he's done with Bruno, what he did with Anthony Gordon. And he needs patience.
Yeah, he does need. I think he'll know that, though. You know, he's not just going to take Trippier's shirt off him straight away, is he? So I think he'll know that. And I think, you know, when we've seen Gordon in pre-season, he looks brilliant. He looks absolutely phenomenal. He's had the summer to sort of settle in and really bed himself in without any pressure on him. I think he'll come flying out the traps. And that's what we want with Livramento as well. If you put him in too early, too much pressure on him, we could implode him, and that's not what we want. So, you know, give him a couple of cup games, bring him on as a sub, few Premiership games, and by Christmas, maybe he'll be flying, absolutely flying.
There you go. And there is the man himself with the 3 shirts behind him as well. What he does bring to the game, I've done a scout report with Alex last week, and he'll bring a lot to his game. He'll bring pace, he's got speed. Even looking at him and Miggy, who work so well together if they do get on the pitch at the same time. Also can play left back as well. He's so flexible with versatility. This guy is willing to learn week in, week out.
Yeah, and, you know, we've talked about the left back positioning. So was Dan Burn a bit of a weak link? I was really impressed with Dan Burn at the weekend. You know, I think Livramento could learn from Dan as well. But I honestly thought that Dan Burn would struggle this year because I thought he was a little bit slow. I know he's a really big, solid lad, but if you look at him, he's lost a lot of weight over the summer, and he was packing some pace at the weekend. So, and another good teacher for Livramento to work with.
100%. I mean, Sue Kinghorn said in a tweet after Tino signed for us, "Welcome, Tino. It's great to have you aboard. The Toon Army trains to trophies." And then you got Pete, and you got Peter as well saying you're gonna love it. And then you got a couple of nice ones as well. I'm not going to read that as well. You got people like got some good ones here, like John NUFC, good luck, welcome to the Madhouse. It used to be a Madhouse under Ashley years. And maybe Newcastle United, well done, mate. Such a step up from Southampton. Yeah. And you know what it is?
I've seen some nice ones from Southampton fans as well, though, wishing him well. Saying good luck, you've done the right thing, you know, we wish you well. So it seems to have been a positive thing all around.
Absolutely right. I mean, the thing is, right, I mean, Chelsea's going to make a big cut as well, around 40 million from the transfer as well. So Southampton have to pay that part of the money as well. A lot of people are saying that 40 million quid, including myself, Shelley, say it's a lot of money at the time, but that's the price worth paying. You have to pay the price.
Yeah, it's you know, he's 20 years old. He could stay with us for a good 10 years. That's decent payback. 40 million, it's nothing. You know, when you're looking at some players, isn't it 100 million wanted now for Harry Kane, and he's 30? That, for me, you wouldn't get, no disrespect to Harry Kane, he's a great footballer. That, for me, you wouldn't get your money back. But 40 million for a 20-year-old who's already proven in the Premiership, I think it's pennies. I think it's damn business.
I'm going to have to agree because, look, at the end of the day, I mean, the Premier League now, it's a be all and end all, do you know what I mean? It's all about money every single time. And it's just getting ridiculous. I mean, you look at Declan Rice, 105 mil. I know I should be talking about Valentino, but 105 mil. But you know what? If he has a good season, his valuation is going to go sky high. Yeah,
but again, he's a young lad. You know, he's got a good future ahead of him. He's got plenty of years of football in him. So in footballing terms, in what we pay for players now, it isn't a great deal of money, really. And I think at 40 million, this kid's a bargain.
100%. And when he played for Southampton, he's made 30 appearances and scored 1 goal. Yes, he only played 2 games last season because of the ACL. That's not his fault. He's played for England under 21s, 5 appearances, and he still is under 21 as well. And one day he may be playing for England, but 5-year contract with an extended year needs to be as well. His mother's Scottish, and his father family came from Portugal as well, and he came from Chelsea under 9s at a young player as well. For me, I've gone, Shelley.
Oh, sorry. If you look, he plays. You might have only played 2 games last season, but his first season with Southampton, he played 28 games. That's a lot for an 18-year-old. That's that's quite a busy season for an 18-year-old lad in his first season at a Premiership club. That's a lot.
I totally agree with you. That is a lot of games for a young lad. Do you know what I mean? We just don't want to burn him out. Look at Saka, plays a lot of games, not had the rest, but we've got to nurture this guy as well. If we do that, that will be absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, I think it's a cracking signing. I think he'll fit in with the lads as well. Playing alongside Kieran Trippier, learn from the master. He is going to learn a lot, this kid. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
So there you go. Right. So I'm going to wrap up there as well. Just the breaking news as well, guys, that Tino Livramento has officially signed for Newcastle United for a deal up to £40 million on a 5-year deal. And we'd like to work with them as well. And before we wrap up, I've got some of my partners as well on my channel for Toffs, the partnership made in Great Britain. I have to get that in there as well. And if you check out the new partner Toffs, get your retro shirts, www.toffs.com, 15% off with our exclusive discount code JSTV. And these are the shirts as well. That's the 1920 shirt, and that looks nice. And also the 1927 title winning shirt as well. Going back quite a while, that looks funky. And the Newcastle Brownell won 1995 with Kevin Keegan and the Entertainers as well, guys. Yeah. That's what I got on right now, and which is absolutely beautiful. And if you buy it for £65, and if you want discounts 15% off your order, quoting JSTV 15. And that is my main partners as well. So, Shelley, can you tell the viewers where we can find you, please, on socials?
I'm on Twitter, toonchick40, potter around, just messing about, chatting about football. You can find me on Facebook under my normal name, Shelley, and I'm also on Instagram as well.
Fantastic stuff, and make sure you follow on Shelley Barris as well. I'll shoot back in the next one. Tell us what you think of Livramento signing. Are you happy with the signing? Are you excited to see this guy in black and white? And leave in the comments sections down below, like and subscribe. And as